May we dare to continue to rise, to side with love, to gather in and protect and defend and champion those on the margins. May we continue steadfastly and faithfully in this good work, knowing that love will prevail if we lead with love. Unbowing, unafraid, unrelenting, with hope that never dies and love that never quits. We lift all these things in the name of all that is holy. Amen and amen, amin and aho, ashe, namaste, blessed be. And so it is. We have a very special celebration now to mark milestones of some of our youngins who are getting to be biggins now. Let's be real. Definitely getting to be biggins, but they're still our youngins, and you'll always be our babies at some point in some way, whether you like it or not.
So our graduates, please come forward. And our OWL teachers. I hope I saw Sam yet this morning. And we'll look for Gianna. We'll keep Gianna in our hearts and minds as well. She isn't able to be with us. Come up all the way up. Let us see your faces. Look at them. They want to see you. Ooh. For the past 7 months, you haven't seen these beautiful faces very often. For they've been busy a few blocks away in a deep dive into what it means to be a sexual being. At the start of the school year, Sam Elva flew to Chicago for an intensive training to join Diane Lade as a facilitator of the UUA's Our Whole Lives program for junior and senior youth here at the River. Sam and Diane have dedicated their time and energy to our middle school kids this year because they recognize that honest, accurate information about sexuality changes lives. It dismantles stereotypes and assumptions, builds self-acceptance and self-esteem, fosters healthy relationships, improves decision-making, and has the potential to save lives. This year, even more importantly, because Broward County did not offer any sexuality education to their students this year. We are so grateful to Sam and Diane for their sacrifice. And we're very glad to welcome you back into worshiping with us every Sunday. And one of these here on the table is for you, Diane. And we'll find a way to get one to Sam. My young friends, let's take a look back at where you were last September. Actually, there's just here. This is a poem by R.D. Laing. There is something I don't know that I am supposed to know. I don't know what it is I don't know. And yet I'm supposed to know. And I feel like I look stupid if I seem both not to know and not to know what it is I don't know. Therefore, I pretend I know it. This is nerve-wracking, since I don't know what I must pretend to know. Therefore, I pretend to know everything. I feel you know what I'm supposed to know, but you can't tell me what it is because you don't know that I don't know what it is. You may know what I don't know, but not that I don't know it. And I can't tell you. So you will have to tell me everything. Thank you for doing that, Diane. Emma, Alex, Olivia, and Gianna, congratulations. For now you know many things. Maybe not everything, but certainly many things. By showing up, being present, and letting yourselves be vulnerable, you have become better humans. Better equipped to take on adulting in your own time. Know that this congregation continues to walk beside you as you venture forth on your growing up path. May you be beacons of light for your fellow travelers and advocates for those who need extra care on the journey. We love you. We bless you. We send you on.
You didn't have to do what you did, but you did, but you did. And we thank you. You didn't have to do what you did, but you did, but you did. And we thank you. And listen, Al Youngins, now that you know everything, you are seeds going into the world. So it's not just you that knows, it's the people around you that you can also share facts with, especially the world the way it is right now in the state of Florida and in Broward County. You knowing how it goes is so amazingly important, because it's not just that you know, it's that you can tell the truth and help others to know and take good care of themselves as beautiful sexual beings. You didn't have to go through all these months of all these classes, and you didn't have to teach it, but you did, and we thank you.
We sustain and strengthen this beloved community and its work in our world through gifts of our time, our skills, our love, and our money. Each Sunday, half of our undesignated offerings go to Life Net for Family, which provides meals, clothing, and support for those in need here in Broward County. The other half supports your mission and ministry of the River of Grass. Ushers, please come forward to receive the offering, scan the QR code or the text the number on the screen to donate. You can also find ways to give on the donate page at our website, riverofgrassuu.org. And during our offering this morning, we celebrate an original composition of our pianist, Cecilia Roy, honoring this day of nurture and nature.
And now what our youngins or our young at heart that are not afraid of gravity, come on up to share our wisdom story this morning. And we won't be singing our youngins off to class because we're all going to share in this worship service together. And let me also say that our teachers didn't have to teach and our ALF kids didn't have to learn, and Karen didn't have to make sure it all happened. Karen, we thank you too.
Okay.
Come on down.
So we started off our service this morning. I don't know if you noticed the most magnificent thing that happened with marbles, right? We're going to hear a story about another most magnificent thing. It's written and illustrated by Ashley Spires. And the picture's going to be up there. This is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole wide world. They do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, they relax. She makes things, he unmakes things. One day the girl has a wonderful idea. She is going to make the most magnificent thing. Next, they gather their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way and get to work. The girl tinkers and hammers and measures while her assistant growls and chews. When she's finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around one side. Her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. Doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even kind of sort of okay. It is all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. She smooths the wrenches and fiddles. Her assistant circles and tugs and wags. When she is finished, she stands up and takes a long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing is still wrong. The girl saws and glues and adjusts. She stands and examines and stares. She twists and tweaks and fastens. She fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square. She makes it round. She gives it legs. She adds antennae. She makes it fuzzy. She makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small. One even smells of stinking cheese. But none of them are magnificent. Her hard work attracts a few admirers, but they don't understand. They can't see the magnificent thing that she has in her mind. She gets mad and crunch. The pain starts in her finger. It rushes up to her brain and she explodes. It was not her finest moment. I'm no good at this. I quit, she decides. Her assistant suggests a walk. Not much help at first, but before long, she starts to feel different. Bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. As they stroll along, she comes across the first wrong thing she made. The bad feelings are about to start all over again. Then she notices something surprising. There are some parts of the wrong things that are really quite right. The bolts on one, the shape of another, the wheel to seat ratio of the next. There are all sorts of parts that she likes. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the thing magnificent. She gets to work. She works carefully and slowly, tinkering, hammering, twisting, fiddling, gluing, painting. Her assistant makes sure there are no distractions. The afternoon faces into the evening. Finally, she finishes. The pair take a good long look. It leans a little to the left, and it's a bit heavier than expected. The color could use a bit of work too, but it's just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a spin. They are not disappointed. It really is the most magnificent thing. You know what? This story reminds me of a time when some friends of mine and I set out to create a most magnificent thing. We knew just what it was going to look like and feel like, and it was going to be grand. Guess what? We made a thing that kept on changing. And we had many admirers along the way, even though it was never as grand as we had imagined. It doesn't exactly look like what we expected, but it feels even better than we could have. And because we made this thing, I get to tell you a story here this morning.
To be a people of creativity. That's our theme for this month of May. To be a people becoming, a people in process, a people learning and growing and sometimes stumbling along the pathways of creativity, but always tinkering and measuring and trying again, much like the champion of our wisdom story this morning. The author doesn't give her a name. She just tells us that she's a regular girl with her best friend in the whole wide world who do all kinds of things and always together, and then she gets an idea. So what say, just for this morning, how about we call this regular girl River? And how about we take a look at River of Grass as she gets inspired and sets about to make the most magnificent thing. How about we look at how River and her best friends in the whole world tinker and measure and hammer together their first attempt at making the most magnificent thing, and then are shocked to discover it isn't magnificent after all, and really maybe not always so good. And so they start again. And then the second try is still not what River had envisioned for her most magnificent thing. And so she adjusts and she twists and she tweaks and she straightens and she studies and she tries all kinds of ways to fix it again and again and again and again and again. And still the thing is not magnificent. And while her neighbors try to help by complimenting her work, she knows it still does not match up to the magnificent thing she can see so clearly in her mind. And she gets so mad, she accidentally hurts herself, and then she finally just plain explodes in frustration. Then she wants to give up. But her best friend in all the world won't let her. And instead leads her toward a new perspective where she discovers that each one of her wrong attempts at making her magnificent thing, actually, each of those things has something good about it. But not only that, all of her neighbors have found usefulness in all of her discarded attempts. So nothing is lost. Each attempt working toward the magnificent thing, nothing pointless. And finally, our regular girl, whom we are calling River, figures out that so much that seemed wrong is actually quite right in a lot of ways. And then it becomes clear that she can take the best parts of each attempt and fit them together to make her most magnificent thing after. So let's say that this thing that River was actually making is a congregation. What parts would she need to fit together to make it magnificent? Well, first, there would be mission. Mission is the why, the purpose for a congregation to even exist in the world. Here's what our River of Grass mission statement says. We nurture spirits, love intentionally, and work to create a just and healthy planet. That's why we exist. That's why we do everything we do. To nurture spirits, love intentionally, and work to create a just and healthy planet. Do you know that's in our liturgy every Sunday? Some of you got it. Some of you sometimes we get used to hearing it and it goes right by. Nurture spirits, love intentionally, and work to create a just and healthy planet. That's why we exist. Second, as Unitarian Universalists, our congregation would have a covenant. So we have mission and we have covenant. The covenant is the promises we make to one another about how we will be together to work to fulfill this mission. The mission is a why, the covenant is a how. The mission is why we exist. The covenant is our promises that we make to one another in order to fulfill love is the spirit of this congregation and service is its law. This is our great promise, a gran promesa. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So the mission is the why, the covenant is the how. What next? Right relationship. So the mission is the why, the covenant is the how, right relationship is how we keep the how going. Because we're human and we mess up. And when we mess up, right relationship is what guides us back into the covenants we make to fix our promises when we break them, because we will. Just like our regular girl River fixed and fixed and fixed again until she found it. And you know what? Our River of Grass Covenant of Right Relationship is so good that the Unitarian Universalist Association Commission on Covenants used our Covenant on Right Relationship in their publication called Comprehensive Guide to Congregational Covenants. The work that River of Grass has done has been disseminated into our movement so others can do likewise. Give yourself a round of applause. Because that's not easy to do. It's easy to have a grand idea, to make a magnificent thing. And it's easy to think, to see what our mission is and then set out to do it and make promises about how we're going to do it. But then when we break those promises, the hardest thing is to figure out how to fix it. River of Grass has been doing that hard work for a long time. That's why we are still here. We keep learning how to make those promises and keep them in new ways. So we have our mission as our why, our covenant as our how, our right relationship on how to keep the how going. And one of the promises we have made is to be a welcoming congregation, which is of urgent need right now. We first qualified and did the training and certified as a welcoming congregation 20 years ago, and we renewed it in the time of COVID. So lest you think the time of COVID, we weren't getting anything done, you would be mistaken. We were getting lots done. Now, the Welcoming Congregation Program is a program of the Unitarian Universalist Association to develop congregations into places that LGBTQ plus people can be safe, respected, honored, uplifted, and loved, protected. And don't we know how urgent that is right now? Just last week, 3 hideous, heinous, hateful anti-trans laws were passed into law in this state of Florida. And people are sincerely at risk. People we love. Yesterday, our Sunshine Cluster met most of the day to learn more and to strategize what we can do next. And one of them is to support a cohort here in Florida that raises money for the legal fees for trans folk, trans kids, and their families in the state of Florida by selling these t-shirts. And I wear it today, great pride. So now, we have mission, we have covenant, we have right relationship, and we have welcoming congregation. Now, we're going to take those 4 things that you put together to make a most magnificent congregation, and we're going to play. Karen?
On the back table, and 4 back tables are 4 puzzle pieces, because we need to put these pieces all together. They're all important. On each table is one of the things that Amy mentioned, the covenant, the mission, the welcoming congregation information, and the covenant of right relations information. One of those goes on each puzzle piece. Along with that, there are many, many possibilities of magazine pieces. There's a World magazine, please go through that. But also there's a whole bunch of pages that either have words or pictures that might apply to embellishing your puzzle piece. There's watered down glue and lots of brushes. There's scissors. There's some markers.
And stickers and stuff.
And fun stuff too. So choose the table you'd like to work at and let's create something magnificent.
We'll call you back in just a little while and put it all together. Two-minute warning. 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. Quick crafting. Quick crafting. Okay, we really gotta wrap this, so. Okay? All right, let's find a stopping place. Let's find a stopping place, y'all. We got food arriving. All right, let's get our pieces ready to put them together. Trying to get them back.
Okay, everyone, it's time
All
to come
right,
back.
let's see what we got. Come on, let's see what we got, y'all. Y'all.
Okay, everybody, heads up.
Oh, beautiful.
Everybody
love it.
quiet.
Beautiful. All right, come
Woohoo!
on up.
Hello.
All right.
Recess is over.
Put them
Come
all
on.
together. Okay, beautiful. Let's come on
All
up
right,
and fit
come
our
on
pieces together, y'all.
Come on.
Thank you, Katie. Happy birthday.
Can you get up?
That's great, though. I love it. Mission people,
Thank
right?
you, Ally.
Relationship people,
Let's go.
welcoming
We got some-
congregation people.
Oh, my goodness. Bring it on down.
All right.
Come on, everybody. Take your seats.
Right. Correct. We can't work it without your pieces.
Come
It
on.
takes all of our pieces to make it work.
Everybody, come on down.
Right. It's mission.
Come on back. Come on.
We're missing right relationship.
Right relationship. Bring on down.
Come on up.
Here you come. Everybody return to your seats.
Well, when
Hello.
supposed to
Come on
be
back.
started the service.
Come on. back.
Maybe sooner. Maybe sooner.
Unbelievable. Come on, guys.
Come this way.
Girls. Men. River of Grass. Reassemble. We've lost control. Come
Come
on,
this way. So we
everybody.
can, that one goes over there.
Come
too.
on and sit down. Can we have it quiet at least?
Hey, y'all.
Come on. Hello.
All right. Let's reassemble, y'all. All right. Can we get it up here? Think we can do it? Want to try? Wow. Wow, look what you did. Yeah. That's a good idea. Do we make it work or what? Ta-da! Look at all the beautiful stuff. River of Grass mission, purpose, covenant. It's in your hands. Wow. Choices and radical hospitality. Embracing an ethic of love. Wow. Y'all be sure you come up here and look at this while we're having our beautiful lunch that the board has provided. Thank you, Maureen and Britt, for making sure that happened. So, happy chaos. My beloveds, we've been through so much in the last 3 years. Arriving at this annual meeting of 2023, do you remember where we were in 2020? Online, trying to keep ourselves and one another safe. We've been through so much in 3 years and so much in the 11 years that you and I have been together. And so much in the lifetime of this congregation, which is 24 years old now. We're a young adult. And we have so much ahead. And each part of that way, here's what I want us to know, especially after what we've been through the last 3 years and the things that we've been trying to do the last 3 years, some of which just didn't work and we thought it was all right and we thought it was beautiful and thought it was the most magnificent thing, and then it wasn't. But I want us to remember that every piece, every time we tried to make our most magnificent thing, something about it was right. And we keep all those right things and we fit them together to make our most magnificent thing, which we will never fully achieve, but always be becoming. So now, before we have our lunch and then have our annual meeting, we are going to keep this most magnificent thing in our mind that we have been headed for so long, and we're going to sing together our hymn that underscores our theme for this entire year. We are building a new way. Please rise and embody your spirit. We are building a new way. We are building a way. We are building a new way. Feel it stronger day. We are building a new way. Not working. To be can never see. We are working to be free. We can feed. You can feed our everything. You can dance a little bit. We can feed our everything. We can feed our everything. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed. And freedom is our pride. Peace and freedom. Peace and freedom is our pride. Without these, we should have died. Peace and freedom is our pride. Our big thing a new way. Yeah. We are living a new way. Living a new way and feeling stronger every day. We are living a new way. Amen. Please be seated for some ways to live our faith. And then we're going to go eat and we're going to have our annual meeting.
Which our annual meeting, which is my first announcement. At River of Grass, we offer many ways to live our Unitarian Universalist faith in action. You'll find them in our weekly email. You do read that, don't you? Our Facebook page and website, riverofgrassuu.org. Here are some upcoming opportunities to fulfill the mission and vision of this congregation and other announcements for the life of this beloved community. As we repeatedly told you through the service, the annual meeting will take place this afternoon following this wonderful lunch that Maureen and Britt and helpers put together. Lunch will be served. Everyone can please partake. And then when you're ready to, when we call you back for the meeting, we're going to ask you to initial a sheet with your, we'll have a list of members, and please put your initial next to the member list so we know you're here and we can easily count for quorum. On Zoom, we're going to have the same link. So stay tuned, go have your lunch yourself and come back and we will count you by counting screens. And Susie, our summer Southeastern Unitarian Universalist Summer Institute 2023 in the beautiful foothills of the Smoky Mountains during the week of July 16th through the 22nd. Learn more online at susie.org or reach out to this year's director, our very own Rev. Amy Carol Webb, or our faith development educator, Karen Gonzalez. Yes, and Karen is on the board, so we're well represented. We always have a great group of people that attend, and it's a wonderful experience. Really, really cool. And the election of the new UUA president will happen at General Assembly this June. To learn more about the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, please join the last webinar coming up on June 3rd. See the weekly email for further information. You must register to attend. I went to one and discovered what a joyful, wonderful person Reverend Betancourt is, and I'm ecstatic that she is going to be president.
We extinguish this chalice. But not the light of love that leads us to lunch. We're going to stay together and make good decisions about our life together for the incoming congregational year. For next year, we've got food for soul and food for body. And until we gather right back here to do all those things, shine on.